Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. This is everything in bloom on the 8th, but it's getting filmed on the 7th, Friday, because the 8th I'll be picking Hannah up in the morning and we're going straight to the Orchid Society's garden party and we won't get back till early evening, so I'm filming it today. Often the 8th seems to fall on a Sunday and I end up filming a day late on the Monday, but this time it's a day early. So right, now I'm going to start over here at one that I always miss. Since this plant arrived, the Psychopsis, it's been in bud and so far every bud has swollen and blasted. Not one of them has actually succeeded. But these are the buds. These are sequential spikes. They can last 10-12 years. They just keep producing new buds one after the other. But the idea is that they should flower in between, not fall off. But the plant is weak. It hasn't got the best of root systems. It does have a new growth pushing on there, which is actually pushing out some roots. I don't think that single growth is going to push out a big enough root system to completely support the plant in full health. I mean, these leaves are getting quite limp, but we'll see how it does. It could pull up, it could get better. Now in that sea of green over there are no buds. None down here. Not even the Restrepias have got any buds at the moment. Obviously no Cymbidiums that I know of. We have a Coelogene with a bud. I've just got to find it. I forget which one it is. I've got a feeling I put it up the back, in which case we're going to have a job to see it. Where did I put it? Oh, I see it. It's hiding behind that leaf. There we go. And that is Holochilla. Coelogene Holochilla. This is going to produce probably quite a few blooms. 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 6 or 7. It's a relatively upright spike, but it will arch. It will arch over. Got a frog in my throat. Right, so that's that. Nothing else around here. No Miltoniopsis buds. So obviously no Pleone buds, not until next year. And then we come along here. The Hercoglossum blooms, they're not a long-lasting bloom. So we did get some, but they've gone over now, which is a shame because they are attractive. But they've gone now, so we won't count those as such. And then coming along here, we've got the 2 Phalaenopsis that I came back from Burnham's with. The orange one, these have got trade names, but I'm not going to bother with trade names because they're made up, literally. They're not registered or anything. But this one, I was just taken by the colours and the fact that the pink is subtle enough that it goes with the orange, and the orange has got some nice veining. So I did like these blooms a lot. The mealybugs like them as well. Cost them dearly. Let's have a quick look at the back of the buds here. No, I think we're okay. It was just an odd one. This is often the consequences of the door being open. You know, it's something I have to suffer. Although it's cool today. And then we've got the lovely pale yellow one. Well, it's a mid-yellow. And I like this one a lot because the blooms are what I call a perfect shape. They've got a lovely deep yellow in the lip with some patterning, and the yellow itself is gradated from the centre outwards, so sort of white in the centre. Some gentle spotting involved there in the centre, and a good sized bloom. So again, I like that one. So we came back with those 2 from Burnham's. Now hiding behind here we have a Brassia type. It's not a pure Brassia. The petals and sepals are nowhere near long enough, and too fat. But it's a nice looking plant, very nice patterning on the lip, and it was given to me as Bratonia Shelob Tolkien, but it turns out when it bloomed it wasn't, and it's Shelob Marie, I think, or something like that anyway, or Marie something. There's a Marie in there somewhere anyway. And it's got no tag on it. When I split the plant in two, I didn't bother doing a new tag, so the other pot's got the tag in it, and that's up the back because that's not in a spike yet. And then coming round here we've got Prospectia radiata. They're not exactly stunning blooms as such. They do have an attractiveness, but you have to get in close and stay in focus, obviously. So there is an attractiveness with the blooms, with the patterning, and a sort of shade of yellowy green. Upside down, typical Prospectia, that's how most of them are. And highly fragrant, that one. It does have 2 new growths and a third one coming. This is the new one coming, and then this one over here, I'd have thought that would have actually spiked. It may still do that, so I'm just digging, but it hasn't yet. So maybe it will, maybe it will. So that's that one. And then underneath we have the, well, I've got it in my notes as a Zygopetalum hybrid, but I think it's a Zygonissa or Zygonissia, something like that. Difficult to truly identify, but I don't believe it's a pure Zygopetalum. And this is going to weaken the plant somewhat wicked, because it put up a new growth with 2 spikes and it hasn't got any backup. It has got some roots, so it's not sort of really struggling, but yeah, pushing up 5 blooms on a relatively weak growth with only 1 leaf backing it up on 1 bulb is not exactly ideal. But this is one of the plants. When I go to Burnham's, I can't walk out empty-handed. I've known Sarah and Arthur a very long time. They keep the business going, and quite honestly, you know, without their nursery, okay, I can visit Mather's now and again. Their plants are ridiculously expensive, so you know, I don't come home with much from there. But Burnham's, it's got the cafe. There's a nice place to stop on the way for breakfast. It's a nice place to visit. I get on well with the staff. I like to support it, so I don't like coming away from a visit without anything. And this particular time when I went, I couldn't find anything that I liked. I didn't want to bring home a Phalaenopsis, so I ended up bringing this home. And when I got it home, I looked again at the blooms and I thought, do you know, I'm not keen. And I'm still not keen. And what's putting me off? If this was in isolation, I'd probably think, God, lovely subtle purple colours there, you know, and patterning. But because it's a Zygopetalum type bloom, the colours are just wrong. So it still doesn't appeal to me that much, I'm afraid. And then we're getting to struggling now. This Dendrobium hybrid, it's very like Infundibulum, but it isn't. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, and it's Formidable, or Formidable if you're not French. And I'm relatively confident, but I can't prove it. Given where it came from, and the fact that the guy grew that particular plant and had propagated it, I'm relatively certain. That was an old friend that died quite a while ago now, and his collection went to Orchid Society members, and I got this one. The blooms are going now. It's been in bloom a long time. And what have we got? Here we go. I was going to say, we should be pushing up some new growth soon. And as the blooms end, here they come. Yeah? So it blooms, and then as the blooms end, we start getting the new growths. And there's two leads on this. The centre of the plant died back, and it's off in 2 directions. So one over here, one here. But these blooms you know, I need to take these off really, get the plant back over to the other side where it lives normally. Having got the scale off of it first, it's absolutely smothered in them. So we will have to get and treat that one. That needs treating properly. It needs the cotton wool buds and the, you know, the alcohol and get rid of them. This is another plant, the black hair type Dendrobiums. Some of them, I won't say all of them, do not take kindly to systemic sprays and will often drop leaves as a consequence. So I'm a bit reluctant to actually spray it. I'd rather just manually remove them, and then I'll have to repeat over and over again because they'll get right down under the base of the canes, so I'll never get them all. But I don't want them getting on those new growths, so we shall have to treat that one. And then over here, this is sad, but they are going now. These blooms here on this very rare plant are going over, so we're not even going to get a good look at them because they're, I was going to say, they're probably going to fall. And there goes one, and there goes two. It lasted reasonably well. I won't say they were long-lasting blooms, but I don't know how long it'll be before we get some more, because we've got two new growths coming. Now, in theory, if they grow and mature, they're then going to drop their leaves and bloom. And it's that type of cycle, this plant. Many Dendrobiums are deciduous. If you can see, the one next to it is deciduous. There's more leafless canes than ones with leaves on. New ones coming up the top. These two are still growing. Yeah, so, but they are deciduous, but they're deciduous at different time spans. Some of them, the leaves last a couple of years, sometimes 3 years, and others, they only last 1 year. So they literally grow a full-size cane in the growing season, and then during the winter and early spring they drop those leaves, followed by buds and blooms, and that's their cycle. That's the very short-lived deciduous ones. There's not too many of those, but there are some around. And then you get ones like Hercoglossum. They're deciduous, but they're deciduous over a 3-year period. Look at the size of that one. Oh, that's because it's not one, it's several. A little cluster. As I said, I'm going to have to deal with bugs. The only way I can deal with the heat is to have the door open and then recover the humidity as soon as the door shuts round again. I might not even need to open the door today. It's an awful lot cooler, but the consequences of the door open will be mealybugs and possibly aphids. Won't be much else. I'm not going to get scale coming in the door. The scale are already in here, unfortunately. So anyway, so that's it. Short and sweet. Now, there should have been a nice video on the other channel of the bird feeders and all the activity on the bird feeders. I got my little short tripod out and cleared some Phalaenopsis off the kitchen window sill, and yesterday afternoon I put the camera on the tripod and just left it running for half an hour. And I put the clip on the laptop to clear the camera off, and then this morning I thought, oh, I'll put that video together. So I put the startup on, dragged the clip in and started playing it through, and in that half an hour not one bird came on the bird feeder. So I had a totally blank clip, so we deleted that, but I've left the base video there. I will get some bird feeder clips to stick in the middle of it at some point. I might even do it later today. I haven't got much else to do. I've got a home shopping delivery coming soon after lunch. And then after that, I've got nothing much to do today. So, yes, we may have another go at filming some birds on the bird feeder. It's funny, sometimes they go absolutely mad, and there's like dozens of them all at once. And then they have a period where there's none. They must wander off somewhere else. There could be some feeders, some other feeders around. I don't know. Anyway, I will get some clips of the birds on the feeders. They're eating me out of house and home. It's mostly the flipping sparrows and the youngsters. There's great tits and blue tits families, which are quite large. So they come in like swarms, literally. You've got the parents and the youngsters that have learnt to use the feeders pretty quickly. Plus there's a couple of families of sparrows come swarming in. So they're getting through the feed very, very quickly, which I don't mind. You know, I don't mind at all. A little hedge sparrow down there on the ground. But yeah, so I will get a clip of some of the things. Oh, back in the week, I actually had a greenfinch on the feeders. Didn't stay too long, but they used to be one of the commoner garden birds on the bird feeders. And they've become very rare. They're very scarce now. Goldfinches have improved an awful lot. They're common, you know, in gardens on feeders. Chaffinches have grown in numbers as well, but the greenfinches went downhill badly. They don't seem to have recovered very well yet. Maybe they will. Anyway, it was good to see one. You know, it's the only one I can remember seeing this year. But you have to bear in mind, I'm not here all the time, and even when I'm here, I'm not always looking at the feeders. So, you know, it says things could visit and disappear, and I wouldn't see them. The good news is that there's a pair of nuthatches that have been missing since back in the winter, and they've started visiting again, so they're still around. Anyway, that's it with the bud spike and plume. I can't really count the pinguicula down here, or the blooms from the sarracenias. Those blooms have been on the plant since early spring, what's left of them, because parts of them die back. But they leave the basic shell of the bloom. Very unusual idea. But yeah, the bloom stays on the plant. Very strange. So those two blooms have been there an incredibly long time. I mean, these are doing pretty well, but they get a bit floppy. It's not through lack of water, it's through lack of sun. When they don't get full sun on them, they grow leggy and they become top heavy. So they do this, they flop over, which is a shame. But yeah, I mean, some of the pictures stay upright and, you know, produce good pictures with good patterning and everything, but not all of them. So, but yeah, they're growing well. That's good. They all got repotted this spring into the larger square pots, except for that one over in the corner, which happens to be doing probably better than quite a few of the others, or certainly as far as the size of the pitchers is concerned. But that could just be the variety and nothing to do with whether it was repotted or not. Anyway, that's it with the bud spikes and blooms and all that stuff. And as I've said, there's not much going on. It's just that's how it is. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.